Recently, I moved into a new house. I was renting it temporarily while I was at school since it was close to campus. The house was small and not in great condition, but it was the most affordable at the time and I didn't have a lot of options. There was already another student living there when I moved in. His name was Sean. His other roommate had just moved out, so I was just filling the opening. I was a little nervous about living with the roommate since I had just moved out of my parents' house, and I had never lived with anyone else before. Sean and I hit it off pretty fast though. We were around the same age, so it was easy to find things that we had in common. I got over my nervousness of living with him quickly and it became a decent situation. We weren't around each other a lot anyway. I was at school pretty much every day, and when I was home I always had a lot of homework to do. I spent most of my time in my room, but things started getting weirder as time went on. One night, I was up studying particularly late. I had an exam the next day and I was doing some last-minute cramming. I finally went to bed around 2 a.m. when I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. Then suddenly, not long after I had fallen asleep, I woke up to the sound of the doorbell. I found this weird since it was the middle of the night, but I decided to just ignore it and try to go back to sleep. I'm sure not even a minute later, the doorbell rang again, except this time it was followed by loud knocks. I was pretty annoyed by this as it was extremely late and I had my exam tomorrow, so I needed to sleep. I went to check the door totally confused as to why someone would be ringing the doorbell at this time of night. I slowly approached the door, ready to catch whoever it was in the act. But when I opened the door, there was no one there.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I said. Of course, no one answered. I looked around outside and didn't see anyone even remotely close by. I didn't know what to think, so I went back to sleep and didn't hear anything for the rest of the night. The following day, I asked Sean if he heard the doorbell last night. He said he had, but he didn't seem too worried by it. I told him how I had checked the door and there had been no one there, but he brushed it off, alluding it to probably some kid playing Ding Dong Ditch. I agreed that it was more than likely just some kid who lived in the neighborhood. But from that point on, it became total hell to live in that house. It would happen just about every other night. The doorbell would go off incredibly late, and if I ever answered the door, there would be no one there. I was losing sleep and started performing badly in my classes. I could barely keep my eyes open throughout the day. It was impossible for me to focus on anything. When it had been going on for some time, I tried talking to Sean about it again.
Do you think that maybe we should call the cops?
Sean kind of laughed at this, saying,
They wouldn't take us seriously. We don't have any leads. Yeah, I guess you're right. We have to do something, though. We can't keep living like this. I'm sure we'll catch whoever it is eventually.
I hoped that Sean was right, but a few more days went by just the same as they had been. If anything, the doorbell was starting to ring even more than before. Then one night, I finally decided that I would stay awake and try to get to the bottom of what was going on.